Okay, so here's my little contraption that I like to roll my cones with. It's an aid for people who solder. Here's where your soldering gun would go. It also had a little attachment with a magnifying glass on it that I removed because I didn't need it. And this slides up and down. You just release this little screw here. Slides up and down and it's fully adjustable. There are two clamps on here. There's this one here. They're both ready to go with pins in them. You can see the pin in that one. But I keep this one folded up because I only need one at a time. But this one is the one I'm going to use today. I like these because they're on ball joints. They're pretty much adjustable, whatever angle you want them on. And here's my pin. You can see it's a small sequin pin. You can find these sequin pins at Joann's Fabrics or any decent fabric store. And oh gosh, they're hard to handle. So there's my sequin pin. You can see it. I'll put it right there. Oh, now you can't see it. They're so tiny. But that's what I like. I like a tiny tip. And so I use these sequin pins. I put this one through a piece of tape, folded the tape over the head of the pin, clamped it inside the alligator clamp, and then taped the alligator clamp shut. So the pin will wiggle, but it's not going back into the clamp, and it's not coming out of the clamp. It's pretty sturdy in there. And so this is my third hand. This is what holds my pin steady while I roll my cone around it. So this is my cone material. I like really stiff cone material. It's 2mm Mylar, and it's going to be kind of hard to see. I tried to put something darker behind us so that maybe you could see it a little easier. But here we go. This doesn't slide as easily as cello or fluorophane. It has a kind of a static charge, and you can now it's sliding, but there's times when it grabs. So I usually take the upper right corner, scissor it. Can you see the upper right corner there? Scissor it between my two fingers, and then wrap the rest of the cone around my fingers. See? And here's a little tab here that I can use to accordion or telescope it shut. I'm pulling these two fingers that have the other corner inside the cone. I'm pulling them out, and it makes the tip, see, it makes the tip go small. Or I push and it makes the tip go large. See? So now all I have to do is impale it on the pin, pull it nice and tight and snug. Can you see that? And give it a little twist. Pinch it with these two fingers to hold it still. Pull it off. Roll it until all I have left is that little tab right there. Grab my little piece of tape. Tape it up against that. And roll it up. That is a decent cone. And that tip will be uniform. In fact, here's another little pin. You'll be able to see how, even though, see, it's very snug in there. It's not going in. It's not coming out. In fact, you got to pull a little to get it out. I like it nice and snug on there. So then I just tape up the seam. I can feel it here. I don't know if you can see it. There's the outer seam right there. Tape that up because this stuff will buckle. This stuff is much thicker than fluorophane or Mylar, as I said. And as I roll it up from the back, as I use the cone, I roll it up like a tube of toothpaste to keep it nice and tight. These parts, if they're not taped down, might buckle, and that's really annoying. So then I'll start at the other side. See this? There's the seam. There's the outside seam. You can see that right there. So I'm going to tape that up just like this. There we go. And there's a little seam right there still left. One more piece of happy tape. And we have a happy cone. Oop, I got a little buckle there, which is really annoying, but if I tape over it, you'll never know the difference. There we go. See, There you go. And that's a perfectly lovely henna cone. And with this, I'm able to not have to juggle, because I'm kind of fumble-fingered that way. I'm able to not have to juggle the pin, the cone, the tape. This is waiting for me. And when I'm ready for it, bam, I just roll around it. I'll do one more quickie. You can just watch me go for it. This stuff holds, like I say, it holds a static charge, so I usually scissor any fuzz or anything off of it that is stuck to it. So, top right corner, wrap around my fingers, trying to see what I'm doing and watch on the screen at the same time. It's kind of difficult, kind of like working in a mirror almost. All right, then impale it on the pin, telescope it closed. It's nice and snug on my pin. Rolling it around the pin just to get that tab just where I want it. Pulling it off the pin. There it is. See my tip? Piece of tape. Rolling that closed. And there we go. We're ready with another cone. I love having all my cones be uniform. All my cones be the same. When I used to eyeball the tips, the first design was always like an adjustment design because I couldn't get the tips exact. I just wasn't able to do it just by eyeballing them. And I always roll my cones open. This stuff does not allow you to roll a closed cone. It's just what I've been used to all these years. And if you roll the cone closed with this stuff and snip the tip, you'll have unbelievable problems. The henna will squirt out sideways or curl back on itself. It's really annoying. But if I do it with an open tip, then everything comes out smooth as silk and really lovely, and it's a happy day doing henna. So there's another cone, and once again, this tip is just like the other tips. Same size, same dimensions, everything is the same. See, pin fits perfectly. See how that is? It's not going anywhere. It's not even going in until I pull it out. Bam. So there you go. That's how I do it. My nice little third hand here helps me out a lot. I can sit in the evening and watch a little murder mystery on BBC and roll cones all evening long and not have to worry about where'd my pin go. So this thing is really inexpensive. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them at Harbor Freight Tools, like $5. I don't think it's more than $10 on Amazon. I'll look for a link. So hopefully this helps those of you who are juggling cones and cone materials and pins and tape and feeling like, ugh, I'll never get this. It's totally easy with this thing. So I hope this was helpful, and happy hennaing.